Hey there, welcome back. It's time once again for the Golden Age of DC Comics 365, where I take my beloved coffee table book that one of my best friends gave me about 2 decades ago. It's been surfing my coffee tables ever since. It's well read, well loved, and I think it makes great content. I'm a comic book fan. If you're tuning in, hopefully you are as well. And this is the stuff of our comic book talks at our local comic book shops. I miss this greatly, and I want to have these conversations with you. You can always leave a comment in the comment section, and we can continue it there. And so let's open the book and see what we have today. Hey, as I will always do with this book that covers the golden age of DC Comics, a printing era from 1938 to 1955. Also the golden age of funnies, of newspaper strips. That goes back to like 1921. Gasoline Alley, Little Abner. When was Pogo created? Let me look this up. Pogo's legendary. Pogo the comic. Yeah, Pogo the comic strip. That was 1948. And that ran until 1975. Okay, so Pogo was very much golden age, but it wasn't early. Pogo was really interesting satire, American satire. And we might just have a special episode on Pogo one of these days. But until then, we're going to run into problematic stuff looking at the past. And we're going to go through it together. And we're not going to avoid it. We're just going to address it, make it part of the conversation. And that's that. So I'm putting up the problematic content signal. The problematic signal. Yes, there might be themes in today's episode that you might have a problem with because we're talking about some stereotypes. And that's that. So there's the warning, all right? And I respect you. That's that. So today is April 8th. And happy birthday to my original best friend, Brian Massey. It's his birthday. Yeah, he's... I grew up with him. We grew up, Han and Luke in the projects. And it's great to have kept him as a friend all my life. And I'm very grateful. So happy birthday, Brian. How could I imagine my childhood without you, buddy? Seriously. But it's April 8th, and we have a panel from Action Comics number 54, published November of 1942. Pencils by Mort Meskin. Inks by Georges Roussos. We're going to check this out here. It looks like a cop's gone rogue. But yeah, this is what I'm talking about. I think the problematics are pretty obvious if we consider it problematic. But I'm going to get into that in just a second. Let's read the blurb, and then we're going to get into the meat of the matter. Okay, let's do this. April 8th. The ghost this rookie policeman has to fight is the memory of his father, who was an even tougher cop. The courage of a lion, the persistence of a bloodhound on the trail. Not even these are equal to the mighty deeds his followers expect of him. Actually, he seems to be doing just fine in this splash panel, but apparently it will take Vigilante and his kid assistant to give Dan Carmody all the confidence he needs. That's Officer Dan Carmody holding a Tommy gun over 2 Tommy guns. One of them smoking. All right, we got he's in the shadows. He looks like he's in an alleyway of some kind of urban alleyway, sitting upon the dead criminals in his wake. While in the background we have Vigilante, who is a golden age DC hero, and that's his kid sidekick, Stuff, the Chinatown Kid. Yeah, let's get into it. All right, so Greg Saunders is the first fictional character known as the Vigilante. You'd know him with the signature, the white hat, the red bandana with the blue shirt. That's iconic look of Vigilante. They even put a version of him in the Bruce Timm universe, Justice League Unlimited, which were great renditions of almost every superhero up to that date. I've always loved seeing those Golden Age interpretations in the Timmverse style. That just always pleases me. So let's talk a second about Stuff, the Chinatown Kid. His real name is Jimmy Leung. And Stuff, the Chinatown Kid, I'm reading from the wiki, just to let you know, is a DC fictional character, a sidekick to the original Vigilante. He first appeared in Action Comics number 45, February of 1942. And he's the grandson of the leader of the White Lotus of New York's Chinatown. Jimmy assists the Vigilante when a Japanese spy known as the Head frames his grandfather for provoking a Tong War. Jimmy becomes the Vigilante's sidekick, Stuff the Chinatown Kid. While with the Vigilante, he fought the Pecos Kid, the Rainbow Man, and the Dummy. Okay, so, but what I do actually like about this panel, it's Jimmy, Stuff, the Chinatown Kid, lacks the stereotypical yellow skin tones. He's got normal skin tones, which is great. I mean, it probably would not have played well with his gloves and boots, but it seemed to be a staple of the time that if you had an Asian character, you had to mix in yellow skin tones in order to, really sell that this, person is, non-white, and not, black, or, it's just, there's not a lot of variety or what we call diversity and representation in Golden Age comics. No, none. I mean, I would have to do a deep dive into the census of the 1930s, 40s, and 50s to look at some kind of racial. I actually have, and I just it's just like it is what it is. And I mean, but we can only go through history. We can always remark upon it from our vantage point here in the 21st century, and from where we've earned all of our common ground. And that we've come a long way, baby. We've come a long way since Stuff the Chinatown Kid. And there's nothing wrong with Stuff the Chinatown Kid. It even says that, he was a refreshing change from the usual antiquated stereotypes of Chinese Americans, since he spoke perfect, albeit slang-filled English, and acted like any other red-blooded American kid sidekick. So, Stuff would be a great example of maybe a positive stereotype and positive representation. I don't know. What do you think? Let me know how you feel about Stuff, the Chinatown Kid. I mean, this is just, I'm thinking of Short Round from the second Indiana Jones movie. It's just, he's just a kid. That's who he is. And there's, this is my buddy, Short Round. This is my buddy, Jimmy, Stuff. I mean, I get it. I grew up in a city. So it was like all this stuff about representation and diversity, and it seems like, it's very well intended. But, but I already grew up in that world. And, but yeah, I mean, so thank you so much for tuning in. It's been the Golden Age of DC Comics 365. Remember, the Golden Age of DC Comics runs from 1938 until 1955. The Silver Age of comics begins in 1956 to 1970. The Bronze Age, I'm a Bronze Age baby, runs from 1970 to 1985. And apparently, according to the wikis, this current age of comics has been running since 1985. 85 to now? I don't know about that. I want to have conversations about what age of comics are we in and what age did we just leave. Okay? Let's talk about that. Let's have comic book talk. I'm willing. Are you? Well, tune in. Thank you so much. We're going to be talking about comic books every day for the rest of the year. Tune in tomorrow at 3 p.m. U.S. Eastern, and we'll find out who we're talking about and when. Thank you so very much for tuning in. Like and subscribe. I'm an ordained minister, an amateur theologian. We get spiritual here. I talk about gratitude and spirituality. I'm also a professional chef. I share with you cooking hacks so you can serve your loved ones at your table delicious, nutritious, and beautiful food. We also talk about comic books every day. And thank you so very much for tuning in. God bless, namaste, and good luck.